Poverty isn't just a condition, it's a pattern, a cycle built from habits, excuses, and the quiet belief that this is all I'll ever have. But wealth is not a number, it's a decision. A decision to stop living as a victim of your circumstances and start becoming the architect of your future. The day you decide that you will no longer tolerate a broke mindset, that's the day your financial life begins to change. And make no mistake, it doesn't change in the bank first, it changes in the mirror. When it comes to building lasting wealth, the first truth you must embrace is that knowledge compounds faster than money ever can. Money, as powerful as it is, has its limits. It can grow, yes, but it grows steadily, predictably, and sometimes slowly. Knowledge, however, is a different kind of power altogether. It's a seed that grows exponentially. The more you learn, the more you understand, and the easier it becomes to make wise financial decisions that multiply your resources far beyond what you imagined possible. Let me share with you a simple principle I've lived by. Investing in yourself is the best investment you will ever make. When I was younger, I realized that the bank of knowledge pays the highest dividends. While many people chase quick money or easy gains, I focused on becoming richer in wisdom. Every book I read, every seminar I attended, and every mentor I sought out became a building block in my financial foundation. These investments in education have paid me back manifold. The strategy is straightforward. Make financial education a non-negotiable habit. Set aside time each month to deepen your understanding of money, how it works, how to manage it, how to multiply it. That means reading one personal finance book, attending a webinar, or listening to a podcast episode that sharpens your money mindset and skills. Consistency matters more than intensity. It's the small, regular deposits into your knowledge bank that compound and yield extraordinary results. In my own journey, I recall when I first read about the power of compound interest and disciplined investing. It transformed my approach to money entirely. Before that, I treated income as something to spend quickly. Afterward, I viewed it as a tool for growth. This shift in perspective came directly from the knowledge I invested time to acquire. You see, financial education changes not just what you know, but how you think. And your thinking drives your actions, which in turn shape your financial reality. When you commit to regular learning, you also become aware of opportunities others miss. You begin to spot investments, side hustles, or innovations earlier, because your eyes are trained to see value. This is the edge that wealth building demands. Without knowledge, money is just paper. With knowledge, it's a lever that can move the world. So here's the practical step. Pick one book on personal finance this month, or register for a webinar that teaches you something new about managing or growing your money. Schedule that time as if it were a meeting with your most important client, because it is. Protect that time fiercely. Over the months and years, you'll find your confidence growing, your decisions sharpening, and your financial picture improving in ways that money alone could never achieve. Remember, your future wealth is created not just by dollars and cents, but by the ideas and understanding you accumulate. Start today, keep learning, and watch how knowledge turns your financial life into a flourishing garden, not just a simple paycheck. That's where real wealth begins. When we talk about financial freedom, many imagine a sudden stroke of luck, a lottery win, a surprise inheritance, or an unexpected windfall. But the truth is, financial freedom is rarely born from luck. It is built on a foundation far more reliable and accessible. Discipline. Discipline in how you manage your money, discipline in how you save, and discipline in how you spend. This foundation of discipline is what separates those who live paycheck to paycheck from those who enjoy lasting wealth and security. I've learned through my own journey that discipline isn't some distant virtue only a few possess. It's a habit, a choice you make every day, often in small moments that seem insignificant at the time but compound into tremendous results. The people who achieve financial freedom don't rely on chance. They rely on consistent, deliberate actions repeated day after day. They control their money instead of letting money control them. The strategy here is to build habits so strong they become unbreakable. That means creating routines around saving a portion of your income before you even see it, and controlling your spending so it never exceeds what you can afford. These habits don't depend on motivation alone, which can be fleeting. They require systems, mechanisms that make discipline automatic rather than a daily battle of willpower. One of the most effective practical steps I've seen and used myself is automation. Automate your savings. Set up your bank account so a fixed percentage of every paycheck is transferred into a separate savings or investment account immediately. When the money leaves your checking account without you having to think about it, you remove the temptation to spend it impulsively. Over time, this small, consistent saving habit builds a financial cushion and opens doors to investments that grow your wealth. In my own life, I remember the relief and confidence that came when I stopped trying to manually manage every dollar and instead set up systems that did the work for me. Automation took the emotional stress out of saving and made my financial discipline dependable and consistent. This allowed me to focus my energy on earning more and growing my skills while knowing my savings were steadily growing in the background. Without discipline, money slips through your fingers like water. With discipline, even modest earnings can grow into freedom. Luck may come and go, but discipline is a lifelong partner that never lets you down. So don't wait for luck. Start today by automating your savings. Let your money work quietly and steadily for you while you focus on building the life you want. This is how financial freedom is built, not on luck, but on habits that last a lifetime. One of the most fundamental truths about building wealth is this: your financial health depends not on how much you make, but on how much you keep. Wealth grows in the space between your income and your spending. In the margin where what you earn exceeds what you spend, the bigger this margin, the faster your wealth can grow. Yet, far too many people fall into the trap of lifestyle inflation. As their income increases, so does their spending, often wiping out any financial progress. Living below your means isn't about deprivation or self-denial. It's about making smart choices and recognizing that your long-term freedom depends on the discipline you exercise today. It's about prioritizing your future self over immediate gratification. The habit of controlling your expenses before you consider increasing your lifestyle is what separates those who merely earn a living from those who build lasting wealth. The philosophy behind this is simple yet profound. If you raise your lifestyle before your income can sustainably support it, you're living on the edge of financial disaster. You become a slave to your paycheck, constantly trying to keep up with expenses that outpace your earnings. True wealth is created when you intentionally keep your spending in check and funnel the surplus towards saving and investing. The strategy is to always cut expenses before you increase your lifestyle. This means taking a close, honest look at your spending habits and identifying areas where you can reduce costs without sacrificing quality of life. It could be smaller things like dining out less often, canceling unused subscriptions, or negotiating better rates on recurring bills. Bigger decisions might include choosing a more modest home or car that leaves room in your budget for investing and saving. In practice, start by tracking every expense for a month to see where your money goes. Then set realistic budgets and challenge yourself to reduce unnecessary spending. When a raise or bonus arrives, resist the urge to upgrade everything immediately. Instead, increase your savings and investments first, and then consider modest improvements to your lifestyle. From my own experience, this principle made all the difference. Early in my career, I lived well below what I earned, which gave me the freedom to invest in my education, my business, and my future. It wasn't about being cheap, it was about being wise. And that wisdom paid off in freedom. Freedom to pursue opportunities without financial stress. Freedom to take risks because I had a cushion. And freedom to create lasting wealth. Living below your means is not a one-time decision, but a lifelong mindset. The gap between your income and your expenses is the soil in which wealth is planted. Tend to it carefully, and your financial garden will flourish. Raise your lifestyle only after your income grows sustainably, and your wealth will follow. Remember, wealth isn't about how much you make. It's about how much you keep and grow. In the journey to financial freedom, one truth stands clear. Your time is your most valuable asset. How you invest it can either build your wealth or deplete your potential. Many people fall into the trap of being busy without being productive, filling their days with tasks that keep them occupied but don't move the needle on their income or financial growth. The key is to prioritize income-generating activities, focusing your energy on the work that creates or increases your financial resources rather than just busy work. The philosophy here is simple yet profound. Time spent on activities that generate income has a direct impact on your financial well-being. Busy work might feel productive, but if it doesn't result in earning, learning, or expanding your opportunities, it's a distraction from what truly matters. Wealth is not built on activity alone, but on focused, purposeful action. The strategy to prioritize income-generating activities begins with a clear understanding of what tasks add real value to your financial goals. This means identifying and dedicating time to the activities that either directly increase your income, such as sales, client meetings, or product creation, or improve your ability to earn more in the future, like learning new skills or building networks. These activities create a foundation for sustainable income growth. In practical terms, start by listing your daily tasks and categorize them. Which ones directly contribute to income generation, and which ones are administrative, routine, or low impact? Challenge yourself to spend at least 70 to 80% of your work time on high-value tasks that either earn money or build your future earning power. Delegate, automate, or minimize the low-value tasks whenever possible. I've learned this lesson firsthand. Early in my career, I found myself overwhelmed with busy work, answering endless emails, attending meetings that led nowhere, and managing details that someone else could handle. Once I shifted my focus to income-producing activities, everything changed. Sales, calls, writing, speaking engagements, and personal development took priority, and my income grew accordingly. It wasn't about working harder, but about working smarter. Remember, the goal is not to fill your day with busyness, but to make your time count. When you prioritize activities that build your income, you're investing in your future wealth. Every moment spent on focused, productive work compounds over time, creating a financial momentum that no busy work can match. So, ask yourself daily, am I spending my time on the highest value tasks that will grow my income? The answer to this question will determine the trajectory of your financial life. Prioritize your time wisely, and wealth will follow. Life has a way of testing us when we least expect it, especially in our finances. Tough times aren't just obstacles, they're opportunities to reveal who we truly are when the pressure is on. Financial discipline isn't about convenience, it's about character. When money is tight, many people give up on their savings, stop investing, and retreat from learning. But those who build lasting wealth understand that these are the moments that define their future. The philosophy behind maintaining financial discipline during hard times is that true wealth isn't just measured by how much money you have when things are easy, but by how steady and committed you remain when things are difficult. Tough times reveal your financial character. If you stop saving or investing when resources are scarce, you weaken your foundation. But if you keep faith in the process, discipline your habits, and continue learning, you lay bricks for long-term success. The strategy is simple but challenging. Commit to your financial habits regardless of external circumstances. Saving isn't just for when you feel flush with cash. It's a daily mindset. Investing isn't just for bull markets. It's about steady, consistent contributions. Learning isn't just for times of comfort. It's your greatest tool to adapt and grow. Your discipline during tough times compounds over years to give you strength, flexibility, and advantage over those who give up. Practically, this means creating systems that make discipline automatic. Automate your savings and investments so they happen without you having to make a decision every month. Budget with a margin of safety so you're not living paycheck to paycheck. Continue dedicating time to personal growth, whether through reading, courses, or mentoring, even if it means cutting back in other areas temporarily. I've faced my own financial winters, and I can tell you that the person who saves a little and learns a lot during tough seasons is the one who walks into the next season ready to thrive. In the end, maintaining financial discipline during tough times isn't just about money. It's about proving to yourself that you can be relied upon, that you won't be swayed by circumstances, and that your vision for wealth and freedom is bigger than momentary setbacks. Tough times don't last, but disciplined people do. Keep saving, keep investing, and keep learning. Your future self will thank you. Everyone faces financial setbacks at some point. It's part of the journey. But the difference between those who succeed and those who stay stuck isn't the absence of failure, it's how they respond to it. Every financial setback is not a dead end, but a setup for a comeback. When things don't go as planned, it's an opportunity to learn, adapt, and come back stronger. The philosophy here is that failure is simply feedback. It tells you what's not working, where you need to adjust, and how you can improve. No one achieves lasting wealth without encountering obstacles and mistakes along the way. The key is not to be discouraged, but to use those experiences as stepping stones. A setback that seems like a loss in the moment can be the very thing that propels you to greater heights, if you allow it. The strategy is to approach setbacks with a learner's mindset. Instead of avoiding or denying mistakes, face them head on. Analyze what went wrong, why it happened, and what you can do differently next time. Adjust your plan accordingly and keep moving forward with a clearer, wiser perspective. This proactive approach transforms setbacks from stumbling blocks into building blocks. Practically, this means keeping a financial journal. Every month, take time to write down the financial mistakes you made, no matter how small or large. Reflect on what caused those mistakes and what lessons you can take away. Writing things down makes the lessons real and tangible, and it helps to track your progress over time. I remember early in my career when I made poor investments because I didn't fully understand the risks involved. Journaling those experiences helped me refine my approach, avoid repeating errors, and build confidence. By embracing this philosophy and strategy, you develop resilience and wisdom. Setbacks become temporary pauses rather than permanent defeats. Your comebacks get stronger and more strategic because you learn and grow from every challenge. Remember, the road to wealth isn't a straight line. It's filled with twists and turns that teach you valuable lessons. The comeback is always sweeter than the setback. Keep journaling, keep learning, and keep moving forward. Your financial future depends not on never falling, but on rising every time you do. You see, When it comes to building wealth, most people get caught up in the idea of chasing income, trying to earn more, work harder, hustle faster. But the truth is, money follows value, not effort. The key to lasting financial success is to shift your focus away from simply making money and instead focus on creating value. This change in mindset isn't just a small tweak. It's a foundational shift that separates the wealthy from the rest. Philosophically, the universe rewards those who solve problems and serve others. Wealth is a byproduct of value creation. When you concentrate on how you can improve someone's life, fulfill a need, or solve a pressing problem, money naturally flows to you. People want to pay for solutions, not just labor. So, the more you focus on being valuable to others, the more financial rewards you'll attract. The strategy here is to direct your time and energy toward activities that add value rather than simply tasks that produce income for the short term. It means identifying the problems your customers, clients, or community face and figuring out how you can meet those needs better than anyone else. This could mean developing a product, offering a service, or even sharing knowledge that changes lives. In practical terms, start by asking yourself daily, how can I serve or solve a problem today? Think of ways to improve your work, your relationships, or your community. Look for gaps where your skills can make a difference. For example, in my early days, I noticed people struggling to communicate their ideas effectively. By focusing on teaching, communication, and leadership, I added massive value, and the income followed naturally. Create a habit of listening more than talking. Understand the challenges others face deeply, and then offer solutions. Shift your mindset from how can I make money to how can I make a difference. That's the secret to building wealth that lasts. Remember, wealth isn't just a number in your bank account. It's the impact you create. When you serve with sincerity and solve problems, you're not just earning money, you're building a legacy. Stay focused on value creation, and the income will take care of itself. Let me share something that's simple yet profound. Consistency beats intensity every time. You see, many folks believe that building wealth requires big, dramatic actions. A sudden windfall, a risky gamble, or an intense burst of effort. But true financial success is rarely about moments of brilliance or massive leaps. It's about showing up day after day, putting in the steady work, and building habits that accumulate over time. Philosophically, this idea reminds me of how compound interest works in finance. The magic isn't in the size of your first deposit, but in the regular deposits made over many years. The same principle applies to your financial habits and mindset. Small, consistent actions, when repeated, compound into massive results. If you save or invest just a little bit every day, over months and years, that habit will build your financial future far more powerfully than an occasional big effort. The strategy is to focus on building daily money habits that become automatic, instead of waiting for a paycheck or for extra cash to come your way. Commit to taking some action every single day. It could be setting aside a few dollars into savings, reading a financial article, or reviewing your budget. These small steps, repeated consistently, develop discipline and keep your financial goals front and center. Practically, I encourage you to save or invest something every day, even if it's just $5. It doesn't have to be a large amount. What matters is the commitment to consistency. You can automate small transfers into your investment or savings account so that it happens without you having to think about it. I remember starting this way myself, putting aside small amounts regularly, and those small actions grew into something substantial over time. Consistency also builds momentum. When you start seeing your savings grow or your knowledge increase, You feel encouraged to keep going. This daily discipline transforms how you relate to money and creates a foundation for financial freedom. So, never underestimate the power of consistency. It's the steady drip that fills the bucket. And in the end, that steady drip creates wealth far greater than one big splash ever could. Keep showing up, keep building your habits, and watch as your financial life transforms day by day. When it comes to money, many people think frugality means living a life of sacrifice, denying themselves the pleasures of life, or constantly feeling deprived. But that's a misunderstanding that can hold you back from true financial success. Frugality, at its core, is about wisdom, about making choices that serve your long-term well-being rather than satisfying short-term desires. It's about learning to find joy not in how much you spend, but in how wisely you spend. I remember early in my life, before I ever found my path in wealth, I lived paycheck to paycheck. I thought being frugal was about cutting every corner, denying myself even basic comforts. But the more I learned, the more I realized that frugality is a joyful discipline. It's about spending on what matters and cutting away what doesn't. It's about quality over quantity, about value rather than volume. The philosophy behind frugality is simple. Every dollar you save is a seed for your financial future. When you avoid wasteful spending, you free resources to invest in assets that grow your wealth, like your education, investments, or a business. Living below your means doesn't mean you stop enjoying life. It means you enjoy it smarter, with freedom and purpose. Practically, this means first taking a good look at your spending habits. What are the things you buy that bring you true satisfaction? Which expenses are just noise? Subscriptions you forgot about, impulse buys, or things bought out of habit rather than need. When you cut those, you reclaim money and mental clarity. Then, find joy in small pleasures that cost little or nothing. A walk in nature, a good book, cooking a meal with loved ones. These moments enrich your life far more than expensive distractions. Over time, frugality becomes a lifestyle that feeds your wealth and your spirit. It is not deprivation, it is freedom. And that freedom is the foundation on which true financial abundance is built. Choose to be wise with your money. Choose joy in simplicity. That is how you build lasting wealth. This simple change in mindset will lead you from scarcity to abundance. Watch how your financial and personal life flourish. You see, one of the most powerful steps toward building lasting wealth is understanding exactly where you stand financially. Many people get caught up in how much they earn each month. But income alone is a misleading measure of true wealth. What really matters is your net worth, the real picture of your financial health, which shows the difference between what you own and what you owe. If you want to grow rich, you have to measure your net worth regularly, because, as the saying goes, you can't manage what you don't measure. Let me share with you from my own experience. When I first started my journey, I didn't have a clear picture of my financial position. I focused mostly on how much money I was bringing in, but I wasn't keeping track of my debts, liabilities, or assets. I thought earning more was the answer, but I soon learned that if you don't track what you own and what you owe, you could still be spinning your wheels, barely moving forward. The philosophy here is simple. Your net worth tells you the truth about your financial progress. Income can fluctuate, but your net worth shows whether you're building wealth or accumulating liabilities. The strategy is to face the numbers honestly and track your net worth regularly, monthly or quarterly. This discipline keeps you focused on increasing assets, reducing liabilities, and making smarter financial decisions. Practically, this means creating a simple financial statement for yourself. List all your assets, cash, savings, investments, property, and anything else of value. Then list all your liabilities, debts, loans, credit card balances. Subtract your liabilities from your assets, and you get your net worth. Review this sheet every 30 days. As you watch this number grow, you'll feel motivated to maintain good habits and identify areas where you can improve. Tracking your net worth transforms vague financial goals into measurable targets. It helps you shift focus from just earning to building a solid foundation for long-term wealth. When you can see your progress in black and white, you develop confidence and clarity. Remember, wealth is not about how much money comes in, it's about how much you keep and grow. Keep measuring, keep improving, and your net worth will become the compass that guides you toward financial freedom. You know, one of the greatest barriers to financial success isn't money itself, it's the way we think about money. Scarcity thinking, that mindset of lack and limitation, keeps you trapped in a cycle of fear and missed opportunities. It convinces you there's never enough, and that resources, success, and wealth belong to others but not to you. But when you shift your mindset to one of abundance, suddenly doors open, ideas flow, and the possibilities multiply. From my own life, I remember feeling stuck because I was focused on what I didn't have rather than what I could create. Scarcity made me timid, hesitant to take chances or invest in myself. But the moment I started to change my focus, practicing gratitude for what was already present and imagining a future filled with opportunity, that shift in thinking propelled me forward in ways I never expected. The philosophy here is simple but profound. Scarcity thinking limits your horizon. Abundance thinking expands it. It's not about ignoring challenges, but about seeing beyond them, recognizing that there is enough success, enough wealth, enough opportunity for you too. The strategy is to intentionally move your mind away from fear and limitation. Instead of dwelling on what you lack, cultivate a mindset that is grateful for what you have and eager for what's possible. This doesn't happen overnight. It's a daily practice of rewiring your thoughts. Practically, this means starting each day by acknowledging 3 things you're thankful for. It could be as simple as a roof over your head, your health, or a supportive friend. Then, spend a moment envisioning your financial future, not as a vague hope, but as a vivid picture of success. See yourself managing money wisely, building assets, helping others, and living freely. When you do this consistently, your mind begins to attract the ideas, people, and opportunities that align with abundance. When you stop seeing money as scarce and start seeing it as abundant, your decisions change. You take risks where before you hesitated. You invest in your growth. You become creative in solving problems. And the wealth you desire begins to flow, not because of luck, but because your mindset is tuned to recognize and receive it. Remember, freedom starts in your mind. Change your thoughts, and you change your financial destiny. As we come to the close of our time together, I want you to understand that the journey to financial freedom and true wealth begins not with your bank account, but with your mindset. The principles we've explored today about discipline, vision, resilience, and abundance are not mere ideas. They are the very foundation upon which lasting success is built. Remember, your income will rarely surpass your personal development. If you grow, your money grows. If you don't, no amount of income will be enough. This is why the most important investment you can make is in yourself, your skills, your mindset, your habits. Wealth is not an accident. It is the natural outcome of intentional choices and consistent actions over time. I encourage you to take what you've learned today and commit to small but daily steps that align with these principles. Whether it's saving a portion of your income, learning something new about money, or shifting your perspective from scarcity to abundance, start now. The future belongs to those who prepare for it today. You have within you the power to break free from limitation and build a life of financial freedom, but it requires action. Don't wait for the perfect moment or the ideal circumstances. Those moments rarely come. Instead, take control by setting clear goals, educating yourself, building good habits, and embracing every setback as a stepping stone to your comeback.